Hello and welcome back to our Let's Play of Oxygen Not Included on the Quality of Life Mark 1 upgrade. Let's get right to it. So, in the last episode we sorted out a lot of our transportation issues. We tried to save some slicksters all the way down here in this portion of the map. I presume they are still, they're just going to die off, I think. Just sort of an unfortunate situation over here. I don't know how to unbug these slicksters. I don't know how to, like, without just sort of cheating, unbug these slicksters. So they're gonna die, unfortunately, because I don't want to start dev tools or anything in this run. I don't need to do that. This is now CO2. Let's go ahead and disable this building, and we will enable this one. Looks like a plan. Let's improve this. This is already at 7. Okay. We're basically just clearing out the natural gas from here. Eventually we're going to have our oil refineries in a sort of airtight room, and they will do all that. But we'll need a major rearrange of all the stuff that we have up here. And for now, we have glass, we have plastic, we have refined metal, pretty much in whatever quantity we want. And we're going to start pumping out the next most important resource that we have down here, which is coolant. We're going to pump it all the way up to here. Way at the top in space. I'm not going to scroll down to go click on the building. Let's just... Nope. Only accepting people's diver zones. Okay, so let's kind of show how a simple coolant loop can work. You can set up a liquid reservoir. Make it out of iron ore here. I'm going to set up another one right here. And the way that we are going to do things is we're going to say, hey, we want a loop of, what material do we want to make it out of, actually? What are my options again? Elements, solids, what was obsidian? Is obsidian a good thing to use? Firmness, decently high thermal conductivity. Okay, we'll use obsidian. We could use other stuff as well. In fact, maybe we should just be using radiant pipe in these areas. There's a lot of different stuff you can use, but we're going to try obsidian. Liquid pipe, obsidian, and we are going to create for ourselves a little coolant loop here, running through this area, like so, and then we'll just use whatever's nearby. In fact, let's just use igneous rock to figure out, to do the rest of this basically. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have the coolant come out like so through here. And then we are going to have it loop back around, and we're going to have it go into a liquid bridge. And what this liquid bridge effectively is going to do is it is going to prioritize looping this coolant back through. Let's do like so. Yeah. Let's actually set it up right. Let's say right here. Where you set it up matters a little bit. I will say that. Because it kind of sets a priority on, well, to some extent, it sets a priority on how much you're going to re-loop stuff versus put new stuff in, right? But we can get to that in a bit. So this is still fine with igneous rock. This isn't really the area that I'm looking to work with. Yeah, and we are just going to do things like so. And then any excess is going to go back into this next coolant container, right? And so let's take this and run it up all the way into here. And this is the easy plan for this coolant loop. I've set it up so that we can inject more coolant in and take coolant out We can also kind of toggle these things if we want to, and we can also set conditions on which these things toggle. But this is how we're going to get coolant flowing through this area. And we're not going to need a lot, because ultimately what we're going to do is we're just going to prevent stuff from piling up on top of here. Another one of these guys. Get out of here. I don't like shovels. We are just going to prevent the contact from happening in the first place for this bunker tile. We're going to have another thing up here, and we'll set up maybe a more in-depth coolant system, one with radiant pipe and so on and so forth. But this is just to keep this area temperate, right? And we're going to set this up now because there is a little bit of a heat problem in this area that we would like to resolve if we can. Yeah, if we see this guy, we want to attack him. That's basically what's going on here. Let's sweep up this. Yeah, kill this guy if you can. If you can't, just deal some damage. Get him out of there. So yeah, we're going to build up this pipe. It's going to pump coolant into here. This is going to provide a buffer. And we can just, as we go along, set up this whole little cooling area underneath all of this. And use that to keep this whole area nice and temperate as we progress. Ultimately, we're going to want sort of a large cooling pool to work with, and we have the resources to do that. We just need time to dig out an area, basically, in order to do that. And we'd also like to set up something that'll provide more permanent cooling. Right now, we're just using the natural coldness of the water that we're sending up here, and then a little bit after that, we'll probably use just the natural coldness of this mafic rock and granite and so on and so forth that's over here, including over here. Right, that's what's keeping this area nice and chilly for now, while this area, right here we have negative 40 degrees, and here we have 250 degrees. The reason is that this is really cold, this is really hot. Pretty simple. How are we doing oxygen-wise? Okay, this is starting to fill up. But yeah, we want to set up a large reservoir, but for now, this is just sort of the way we're gonna run things. Set you to be 15. We'll work like that. All right. Let's go back down here. How's this coming along? We're getting there. We're getting there. Do we have? All right. So it'll go all the way up to this liquid bridge because this is basically an input, and it'll pull water, so to speak, and then this will push water. Basically, any of these inputs and outputs will say when water flows. So it's not flowing past here because it doesn't have anywhere to go. There's no input drawing it and connecting the loop. But we have, see, an input here, an output here, an input here, an output here. So that's how that is functioning. This glass temperature is fine. Okay. We need to set up a little bit of power here, don't we? Sure. Let's go ahead and do that. Jumbo battery. Slap one down here. We're going to compress down this hydrogen by just slapping down some granite tile, like so. And we will dig out a little... yeah, this is phosphorite. Alright, we'll dig out a little bit of an area for ourselves on that end. Okay. Power. Manual generator. Iron ore is fine. Wire this up. Great. Okay. Looking good. How are we doing heat-wise, actually? This is fine. Maybe we want to improve the thermal shielding a little bit. It's kind of incomplete at the moment. We'd like to get some Wheezeworts, free them up so that they can come up to, just to help with this over here. But for now, it's fine. Let's set the priority on this a little bit higher. Okay. Once this is done, we should see water pumping up. And then we can start cooling off this area. And then we'll end up doing more work, like filling out this bunker tile and sealing this all off and so on and so forth. And then we'll start getting ready for actual space adventure exploration and whatnot. Perfect. So, another thing I'm going to need, actually. Right, so this water should start pumping up. Yeah, here it comes. Another thing we're going to need to work on is some oxygen supply. Like, we're relying on the natural diffusion right now, and that's fine. But we're going to want to pump out oxygen into a set of docking stations for exosuits. So that's going to be rather important. I'm wondering if I set this the right... Maybe I want this one more over. You'll see once it hits that it does make a difference. This is kind of fine for now. Worst comes to worst, we just change up some of these pipes. But you see how some of it is going into here, some of it is going out here. This is sort of the way that we have it set up. We're inputting coolant into the system, and over time, it's going to cool this down. So, bunker tile was at 94, now it's at 93.5, right? Like this is, if we see, sorry, let's go to plumbing. This coolant is coming in at, say, 27.5. I mean, it's all a little bit slightly different temperatures because some of it's looping from here. Right, this one, 27.5. By the time it gets up to here, it's 28.8. Gets to here, it's 32.2. Gets to here, it's 29.2. I guess it's cooled off a little bit. Alright, that's fine. And yeah, we're looping like this. The priority is that when this water hits this input, it wants to go across to this output. That's how these liquid bridges work, is they prioritize pushing things out through here. So half of what, ultimately because of the way we set things up and the gap that we provided here, half of what we're putting out here is continuing on to this loop, and half of it is going into this new coolant loop, which we can use to supply the next one if we so choose, right? So this polluted water at 27.1, and we'll see it slowly start to tick up, and also tick up in temperature because we're pumping in slightly hotter water now. But this temperature is still going down. The bunker tile is now at 88.3, and we can just use these loops across here through this entire area and get this place all nice and temperate for us. So I think the next step now for our space adventures is that we want to set up a docking suit area, or sorry, exosuit checkpoint. So let's go to our stations, Atmo suit checkpoint. We could also set this to jet suits, but I don't have a way of pumping petroleum up here at the moment, so let's not. Steel's an option. We could start using a lot of the steel. I'm just going to stick with iron. This is good enough for us. Set up one of these, and then a series of Atmo suit docks. I think we'll start with 6 for now. Maybe we just go the full 8. I think I need to queue up a couple more Atmo suits. How many Atmo suits do I have here? I have 6. Is that correct? I believe I have 6. So let's queue up 2 more, actually. And let's go ahead and get the full complement up in here. I think that's a plan. Okay. Atmo suit docks, iron, boom, boom. We're going to get these hooked up. We also need to power them, of course. So setting up some sort of power generation right here seems like a decent idea. I think we are going to restrict access. Yeah, we're going to basically lock this door. We're going to allow permissions through here. Now that the temperature is a little bit more reasonable. What is it like here? 67, 87. Okay, it's getting reasonable. It'll take a little bit more time, but it's getting reasonable. This is, yeah. By the time they get here, it'll be at a non-burning temperature. we are going to allow travel through here. And I think actually what we're going to do, never mind, change my mind. We are going to deconstruct these. Actually, we'll just deconstruct this, and we will seal this up as a plastic floor here. And then we can continue on over here and do stuff, because this area is fairly temperate, right? I mean, some of this is at weird temperatures just because of the drywall has been built out of random mafic rock. Some of it's quite cold. But yeah, we're going to set up our exosuit station right here and set up a floor right here. Okay, and then we're going to start building out here, clearing out all this stuff, and yeah, plastic tile, replace this, set this at a high priority. And then once we have this sealed off, we can actually just sort of open up some of the stuff. So, power-wise, what do we want to do? We want a pump to pump up oxygen. I think that's how we're going to supply oxygen to this for the moment. We'll... We could just set up another algae terrarium spot, actually. Because I have 40 tons of algae ready to go. Doesn't sound like a bad idea, honestly. We would need water to water it, and we pumped up polluted water, so we would need to do a little bit of work there. But we could just generate oxygen like that. Because these are going to fill up with a lot of oxygen. I think for now, let's set up some power. Get that out of the way. And we're just going to grab coal generators. Simple and easy coal generators. Yeah. We will set up our smart battery over here. That way we have room for another coal generator if we so choose. We will... are we going to hook these up with conductive wire? I forget how much power these stations take. So we have our Atmo suit dock, 120 watts, Atmo suit checkpoint. Is this a checkpoint? We'll use conductive wire, why not? So, I have my coal generator, my smart battery, and then we are going to say automation wire, hook these up. Sure. We will also, while we're at it, yeah, we're just going to slap down a couple manual generators here. And I think actually automation-wise, whoops, automation, go into automation view, cancel this. We will instead run the automation wire under here. So I only want to connect this up for the moment. This will change eventually, but we're going to change this right now to that. Then we'll go to power. We're just going to use some conductive wire. Iron's fine. We're going to hook up this. Then we are going to run this up here, like so. And then we will also have this connect to a gas pump, which is going to pump out oxygen and put it into these Atmo suit docks. That is the plan. Where does space exposure begin? Space exposure right here. So we could potentially dig out all this. Space exposure here. So we could potentially dig out all this. Space exposure. Space exposure. Okay, and then the rest. This forms the rest of the line. Okay. Let's get a little bit more of that in. Okay. And yeah, we are going to set up for ourselves a little gas pump. Iron again is fine. Suppose we'll just set it up right at the top. Yeah, we're just going to set it right at the top. We'll have a gas filter. I guess we'll run it right here. Sure. Yeah, put it right here. And then grab some gas pipe. Create a gas vent. More gas pipe. Oops. Igneous rock is fine. Run it across here. Run this here. We'll need to change this eventually because this is not a great solution to the problem. But for now, it'll work fine. And we'll just run some conductive wire up along here and here. Why not? Looks good. Looks good. Okay. Right. So this will set up our Atmo suit checkpoints. I would like this to be... This is already a high priority. Yeah. Get this done. Perfect. Okay. So this whole area is going to be separate from this one right here. This is going to be our entry point into all of our space stuff. This is going to be support structures for the space stuff. And eventually we will get ourselves another transit tube location. What happened? Scalding. I guess the temperatures are still just a little bit problematic here. 80. How much damage do you take? 70. Okay. Fanny, we need to move you for a second. Oh my goodness. How can I not select you? There we go. If you could just move yourself over here for a second. Perfect. How are we doing over here? This is down to 84. This oxygen is just a little bit hot still. Okay. We maybe need to create a little bit of insulation here. Just sort of seal off this area. Let this heat up however we want to. Let's go ahead and plant another wart seed. It's going to come all the way down from the place where people drown themselves. But, alright. So, in this episode, we've basically finished up our Atmo suit docks. We've got a little bit of work to do to supply them. But we should in the next episode be ready to do some more cool space stuff. I say some more. We haven't done any cool space stuff yet. Been too busy dealing with these slicksters. They're still dying. We didn't save anybody. Maybe it's the ladders. Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know. These guys are done, so I don't think there's a way to save them. Let's just dig out some fossil here. But yeah, try to deal with some of the issues cropping up around here. These guys say they're starving, but there's CO2 above them, CO2 below them. This natural gas will eventually kind of work its way out of here, and things will be fine. Yeah, there's just so much CO2 at the moment. It just needs time to work its way over to them. Okay, gonna cut the episode here after disabling this building. one last thing, and I'll see you guys in the next one.